Hello everyone, welcome. Marek here and welcome to another video in the series. This time I'm going to talk about the Tools panel or the toolbar in Adobe Premiere Pro. I'm going to explain every single tool you have in your toolbar and how you're going to use it and when you're going to use it. There'll be a number of interesting tools which allow you to do a lot of editing inside Premiere and make further changes as you work on your sequences and you tweak them later on. Okay, so without further ado, let's get started. Let's have a look at all the tools in the toolbar inside Adobe Premiere Pro. Let's get started. Okay, let's talk about the tools in Adobe Premiere Pro. Let's have a look at all the tools and see what they do. Let me just quickly render it. Here we go. Okay. Some of them will be easy. So this is our tools panel or toolbar, and the first one will be your selection tool, where you can use it to select clips in a timeline. If you have video and audio, where audio belongs to video, they will be both selected together, and that's because this audio belongs to this video file. Okay. If we have just the video with no audio, just the video gets selected. If you just have the audio, no video with it, then just the audio gets selected. When you selecting clips, like say these videos with some audios, you can select just one part, just the video, just the audio, using Alt key. So if I deselect it, hold Alt key down, you can select just the video or just the audio using selection tool. You can also use selection tool to perform some trims. So for example, I've got this video here, this Asia traffic, which is quite long, this clip here. And if it's too long, let me just mute the music for a second. If it's too long, I could just use selection tool. And now I want to trim this clip here. So looking for this left pointing red arrow. And I'll just click, hold and drag to trim it, say, maybe just a few seconds. Just a second or two maybe. We'll get a gap, but we could just right click in the gap and ripple delete to remove the gap at the same time. Okay, so that's something you can do with selection tool. Next we have these two tools here, track select forward tool and track select backward tool. You probably know this by now, but just to mention, when you have tools with this triangle in the bottom right corner, if you click and hold the mouse button down, you get a drop down with all the tools available here. So I did click and hold to get these two tools. Track select forward tool and track select backward tool, they'll select everything on your timeline from where you click in. So for example, let's say working the sequence, let's say it's a long one, and you want to select everything on the timeline, everything. You can use track select forward tool and just click on the first clip, and this will select everything in your sequence, everything, all the clips at the same time. In a similar way, if I click away to deselect it, then you just switch to selection tool, click away. You can use track select backward tool to select everything from the end. So if I go all the way to the end, I can click once and everything to the left will be selected. One point to make here about these two tools is that despite the name, track select forward tool, track select backward tool, they actually select everything. They select all the clips on all the tracks, as you may have noticed. At the moment I've got all the videos on V1 and audios on A1 and also A2 also selected. So if you don't want to select everything, you may want to lock some tracks with the padlock. Okay. Moving down. Oh, just maybe one more thing to mention about these two tools. Both the same, but let's say if track select forward tool, for example, it's selecting all the clips from where you click. If you click on the second clip, it will select everything from the second clip. Okay. Now, next we've got ripple edit tool. With ripple edit tool, you can perform trims on your clip on the timeline, similar to selection tool, but ripple edit tool won't leave a gap. So say if I select it and I'll go back to this Asia traffic clip here, and I want to make it even shorter because it's really long. Let me just check. That's just the traffic, so I can trim any part. So if I trim it now, I'm getting similar icon to selection tool, but the selection tool, this was red, now it's yellow. Now, if I click and drag to trim it, what's going to happen is when I release the mouse button, there will be no gap. Premiere will move all the clips at the same time. So if I just release the mouse button, there's no gap. The duration of your sequence is also going to change. So mine is 3:17 at the moment. If I do it again, say a lot. Okay. Now, actually, my duration doesn't change right now because of the music clip, but the videos are getting shorter. As you can see on my timeline now, you can see space at the end. So it does change the duration. It's just that my music clip on A2 is really long. That's why this didn't change. Okay. There's one more interesting feature about Ripple Edit tool. With selection tool, you can trim the clip to make it shorter, but you can't make it longer if you have clips after this one. You can't go this way. It says trim blocked on video 1. However, you can with Ripple Edit tool. With Ripple Edit tool, you can go either way, so you can actually go to the right. I'm not overwriting this next clip, the Bangkok. No, it's going to push it out of the way. So if I go, say, a bit here, release the mouse button, it will push this Bangkok clip at the same time, making the sequence longer at the same time. Normally, because remember, because of my music, it's not making it longer this time. So that's what Ripple Edit tool does. It allows you to make any clip on your timeline shorter or longer, and it just moves the other clips at the same time to adjust it. Next, we have Rolling Edit tool. Now, Rolling Edit tool will work on a cut between the clips, and with Rolling Edit tool, you can adjust the out point of the first clip and the in point of the next clip at the same time. So let's find something. Let's say go here. We've got these people here, and just looking, maybe this clip is a little bit too long. Maybe I want it to go until she starts moving through the barrier, maybe up to here. So what I want to do is push the out point of this clip and then push the in point of the next clip at the same time. So with the Rolling Edit tool, we'll just click, hold and drag to the left or to the right, whichever way you want to go, and you can just roll it. Okay, so I could roll it either way, say maybe this way, for example, or this way. As you're rolling with the Rolling Edit tool, in the program panel, in the program monitor, on the left, this is the out point of the first clip. On the right, this is the in point of the second clip. So you can see how the first clip is going to end and how the second clip is going to start. So maybe we want this lady to be going through the barrier, maybe up to there. Rolling Edit tool is making one clip longer, the other one shorter at the same time. It's affecting both clips at the same time. It doesn't affect the duration of the entire sequence, because making these two clips, one longer, one shorter at the same time. Okay, next we have Rate Stretch tool. Rate Stretch tool will change the speed of your clip. Here's an example. Got this clip called Asia Traffic. It's just a shot of the traffic here, and it's long and slow. So I'm going to make it faster by making it shorter, because with the clips you can make it shorter. This will make it faster. So say if I make it about half the duration, maybe like this, when you release the mouse button, you will see the speed of your clip on the timeline. So if I release the mouse button, it says 190%. Let's make it about 200. So a little bit shorter. Here you go, 205%. It will leave a gap. Yes, that's normal. So if I play it, now the traffic will move faster at double the speed. That's better. We can make it even faster because it's very slowly moving traffic. Let's make it about 300%. Here we go. There we go. So it's moving faster. In the same way, we can stretch it out, make it longer to make it slower. So this will move slower. So let's say if I leave it like this, I'll right click here, the ripple delete to remove the gaps. And I may slow down one of these clips here. Maybe the one, this one, or the next one, maybe this one. Now, I can't make it longer right now because there's no space. Okay, so what I need to do is move these clips out of the way. So I can use selection tool because it's just 3 of them. Select them all, move them out of the way, and back to right stretch tool. Can make this clip longer to make it slower. So I got 54%. It's just slow. With right stretch tool, it's not something I would use for slow motion effect, because there are much better ways of doing it, giving you a more sophisticated, nice slow motion. I have a video about it, so if you have a look on the video I did on super smooth slow motion in Premiere Pro, I'll go through a couple of different techniques in there. Okay, so I wouldn't use it for slow motion here, no. So let me just undo, go back a few steps. Here we go, and remove the gap. So in general, I would say right stretch tool is good for speeding things up, but not really for slowing things down. No. Okay. I'll switch back to ripple edit tool because that's what you see by default. Then we have eraser for making cuts on the timeline. Here's an example I'm going to use here. I have this music that's playing on audio too. And it's really long, as you can tell, really long, which I don't need. So quick and easy way, I'm just going to cut it right here where the last video ends. We can always make it longer later if we want to. So I'll make a cut here. And then with selection tool, I'll select it and just delete it. So after the last video, there's no sound. It just stops, okay, at the end. So with the razor tool, you can just make cuts anywhere on the clips, on audio, on video, anywhere on your timeline. You can just make cuts, okay? And it's just making a cut wherever you click. Simple. Next we have slip and slide. With slip tool, this works on a clip, on one clip, and it allows you to move the in point and the out point of this clip at the same time. Let's find something here. I've got this clip as an example. This one here. And maybe what I want to do is pick a different part of this video. So if I click on the actual clip, click, hold, and start dragging a little bit, in the program panel, in the program monitor, what you see in the bottom left corner is the in point of this clip. In the bottom right corner is the out point of this clip. So bottom left, the moment when this video starts, and the bottom right, the moment when this video ends. So we can just slip it to make the video start and finish earlier or start and finish later. Okay. So for example, for the out point, I want to have the moment when the door is actually opening. So maybe something like this. And the in point was when the door is still closed. And I'll reach the mouse button, and it's going to be the new in and out. The reason I wanted it, because on my next clip, the door is already opened, and people are going out on here. Okay. There. Okay. That's the slip tool. With slide tool, you can move a clip on a timeline. Well, just a bit. You can't move it anywhere you like. So with the slide tool, I could take, say, maybe not here, but let's say maybe this clip, for example, with the tickets. I could actually move it so make it appear earlier here. So you can just slide it on left and right. So a bit here or maybe a bit there. You can go in either direction. So I can make it a bit earlier. So it's going to overwrite a bit of this clip here, and then we've got the next one. Okay. So slide tool allows you to slide or move the clip on the timeline, left and right. Okay. But just so you know, you can't move it any way you like. We do have a technique for that, but we don't have a tool as such for that. Okay. Right. So this was the slip and slide. There we have some drawing tools. Pen tool, rectangle tool, ellipse tool. You can use them to draw objects in the program panel, not in the timeline this time. So for example, if you want to put some text, so say maybe at the beginning, maybe here, I want to have some text at the bottom. So I could draw a rectangle first with rectangle tool. Maybe on the side, so say here. So click and drag to draw a rectangle, something like that. We'll customize in a second. Let me just show you at the same time. I'm also going to add some text with the type tool. So the type tool, I'll click once and type in some text. Okay, or Thailand. And now what I always do with the type tool is when I finish typing, I'll switch back to selection tool, because you may want to move it. And then we're going to customize it as well. Okay. Now with these shapes and text, Premiere creates a new clip for you on a timeline. So I've got a new clip here on a timeline. This actually includes both shape and text, because by default, as you draw a shape and then you add text, you still have the shape selected. So you get this clip together, which is great. Okay. So you can draw rectangles, squares, ellipses, circles, or irregular shapes. Okay. And then you got a type tool, horizontal and vertical here as well. Okay. So if you want to customize them, let me switch back to selection tool. You're going to use effect controls panel here. For every object you create, you'll have a separate layer. So I've got a shape layer and a text layer. So with the shape layer, I could change the color. So I could make it maybe white. There we go. And then with text, again, we can change the color. So if I scroll down a bit, change the color of the text. And you can change all the other properties here. So I definitely want it to be a bit smaller because it's a bit too big. And you can change individual words or characters. So I can double click here to highlight something, maybe this one. And this could be maybe semi-bold, could be smaller, and so on. It's all about the tools, not about effect controls panel in here. But it's everything's in here. Alignment, properties, color, leading, tracking, and so on. Okay. And I'll switch back to selection tool. We also have the hand tool where you can just pan in your timeline, just left and right. Okay. There is one more use for the hand tool. Unfortunately, we can't just access it here using spacebar like in Photoshop, Illustrator, or InDesign, because spacebar is plain in Premiere. But what you can do is, if you zoom in, you can actually use hand tool to move around here, just like that. And just zoom out a little bit. There we go. So you can use hand tool for that. Otherwise, in the timeline, I actually tend to use hand tool quite a bit in Premiere when I'm working just on my laptop, when I don't have it connected to my big monitor, because I find this to be much easier, giving me much more precision than using this slide at the bottom, especially where normally I use a stylus with my Surface Pro. I use the Microsoft Pen, so it just gives you much more precision here. Okay. And behind the hand tool, we also have a zoom tool where you can zoom in to a part of your sequence, say maybe here. You can zoom in really quickly, really easily. In the program monitor, it doesn't do anything. No, it's just for the timeline. you know. And that's the breakdown of all the tools in Adobe Premiere Pro. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. Any questions, let me know. Any comments, let me know. I hope you enjoyed it, and hope to see you soon on another video. Thank you for watching. Bye bye for now.